In 2007, our son was killed in a car accident. I remember briefly at the hospital that we were given a grief encounter leaflet, and I remember looking at it thinking, no one's going to help us. Sorry. I have a younger son, he was around 4 at the time. I can honestly say that without Shelley, without Grief Encounter, we wouldn't have got through it.
6 months after my husband had died, she rescued me from a terrible depths of despair, and my children found it amazing. They felt she understood them, and she did. She understood everyone.
17 years ago, I'd recently lost my husband and had 3 young children, and I didn't know where to go. And Shelley, bless her, was kind of, don't normally take people this early, but do come. And then unfortunately, my youngest son died more or less two years later. So luckily, I knew where to go. It's when you have bereavement in your life, you obviously think about the effect it's going to have on your children. But with the support from Shelley and Grief Encounter, they are flying now. They are absolutely flying.
Shelley and I met nearly 6 years ago when my husband died suddenly on a normal Monday morning. She gave me one task for the next month and called me every day, and that task was to get up and get out of bed, which I did. People use the word lifesaver, your neighbour who takes in your Amazon parcel, a friend that goes to the shop. Shelley was my lifesaver.
My husband was very poorly and was about to die. And my children were 2, 5 and 7. And I met Shelley in person, and it was a wonderful experience. And I said to her, there will never be a time when I don't want to come here and offload in this safe place. And she said, I promise there will be. When I think of Shelley, obviously that's a very traumatic but very special time for me.
I was a dad that had 2 young children that had lost their mum, and I didn't know what to do.
Grief is something that is going to affect all of us at some point in our lives, and Shelley kind of helped be able to understand that it's something that's going to be with us, and it's learning to live with it.
The fact that she's always there and I don't feel bad to be able to ring her is really nice. Amazing woman.
Yeah.
Amazing woman.
I first met Shelley in 2007 when I lost my husband to suicide. I didn't know what to do or how to help my family. We just felt like we were falling apart. And I got in contact with Shelley, who invited me along to one of the sessions. I feel like I wouldn't have managed as well as I did if that hadn't have happened.
Calling the ambulance for your dad and watching him die as a 13-year-old girl, and then the opportunity to have families tell me how much I've helped them, all because of Shelley's legacy.
Shelley was your inspiration.
She was my inspiration.
To turn something that was so awful into something so positive.
My dad passed away in 2006.
It was late one night, crying into my keyboard and saying to her, can you just please help me? Yeah, it was a lifeline. Support groups, workshops.
It's those like little funny trips that we used to do that would help me heal in ways that I didn't actually realise at the time.
If it wasn't for Shelley, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today.
Shelley and Grief Encounter definitely helped my mum take on the role of both my mum and my dad, you know, and help me actually have a childhood.
When my dad died, my mum was left with the really, really hard task of telling me and my 2 brothers. Someone reached out to my mum and said, please call Shelley Gilbert. And my relationship with Shelley has just continued to grow. At the end of each session, I'd put everything I made into this box that no one else was going to see other than me and Shelley. If I never kept my memories alive, I really don't think that I would have them today.
She actually sort of pretty much changed my life, because my whole career, where I sort of thought I was too old or not able to change careers, and she
just said, why not?
I met Shelley 20 years ago. It's really been magnificent to watch Shelley at work.
Realising how incredible Grief Encounter obviously is firsthand, looking at how difficult it is to keep it going, to then wanting to become Shelley, wanting to become the person that can bring true hope to bereaved children, because I genuinely believe I am where I am today with thanks to being introduced to Shelley and Grief Encounter.